Hey, what's up everybody? It's Carpo. So I took like 5 days off of YouTube. I'm actually taking a week off, but I decided to upload a video today because I'm feeling inspired. And I find a big difference between uploading videos and actually being on YouTube as opposed to answering comments and whatnot. And I've been thinking over the last 5 days about how I expect to handle my YouTube channel from here on out. Because back when I started it a year ago, I had, 5-10 people maybe commenting, maybe 5 comments a day tops, sometimes none. And I just went on to my page after 5 days and had 67 comments, and that never even includes all the various comments on one particular video, because it kind of puts them in the Google Plus category. I don't even know how many there are, but there's too many. And so I've decided I'm not going to answer comments anymore unless, it's just off the cusp or I feel inspired, or if someone asks me a direct question, because I just don't have the time to kind of joke around and small talk. It takes a long time to answer all the comments on YouTube, and I like to be, conversive with people. I like to have conversations, and I like to discuss and understand things. I think there's a big secret, and the secret is that there is no secret. I guess it's not too easy for me to express this. There is, a couple days ago, I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and I felt inspired to write. So I wrote until about 9:30. So I was like, wrote for like 5.5 hours. And I've been working on a book, and I hadn't started it, and I figured take a break from YouTube and start my book. So I got in it quite a ways, and I started to realize that the particular subject matter that I'm tackling in this book is very interpretive and very subjective. And I'm trying to make this book a book that anyone can read and say, sure, that makes sense, but not feel like they're walking away being told what to believe. And that's one of the hardest things when you're writing a book about the essence of life, what life is to try to avoid putting in your own subjective views and opinions. It's easy to be talking about various belief systems and start picking at a particular aspect like hell, or to start supporting an idea of spirit or life. It's taken me years, but I finally got to the point now where I realize the complexity of life is far too complex and far too vast to put a material creation on the universe, that I no longer can even entertain the notion that everything is here by chance. And it's not that I believed that before, it's just that I left myself open to that one aspect, the just in case. Just like I have to leave myself open to even Christianity or Islam, Judaism, all religions. I have to have at least 1% of my mind that says there's a possibility, because if I don't, then I've done exactly what I tell others that it doesn't work, which is to shut everyone out. And so I got quite a ways into this book, and kind of looking back over it, I realized that this big secret that everybody's trying to find, it's never been a secret. And I've been trying to express this over the last few months to people in various comments and certain videos I've made, that what is truth? And that's basically the basis. Truth with a capital T. Is truth something that can be expressed? Is truth something that can be shared? And I'm using history as my gauge to say, if there's one truth that can be taught, it would have been passed down in such a perfect way as to benefit us now and today. And it seems like any group of people who have any type of clout whatsoever or wisdom use it for personal gain. Not always, but those in power, as they say, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So understanding the nature of man, that mankind is what mankind is. There's one chapter I'm writing which is, can there be a utopia? And understanding this to me has been like one of the biggest hurdles to overcome. The idea that there can be no perfect world, in the sense that we tend to think of it as a perfect world, where everyone's happy, where everyone shares, where everyone cares. Because as long as there's the opportunity for one person to take more, there will always be somebody to do that. So we as a society keep people in check. We keep each other in check. I've watched a struggle, people trying to understand the deeper meanings of life and the important things. And I don't disapprove of that search, because many of us are on that search. But I've seen where some of this searching for truth leads, and it leads into a deep, dark, cold, lonely tunnel, cavern, where only a few can understand you. If you want to put it in a metaphor, I guess a cavern would be a good metaphor. The deeper you search into occult knowledge or wisdom or the occult, which is just hidden, that's all it means, is hidden, but it has connotations with that word. You say occult and everybody thinks you're in a cult, but occult just merely means hidden knowledge. So as you're searching out this hidden knowledge, you're walking deeper into this cave, and everybody else is on the outside, and you go in a few feet and you yell back, hey, look what I found, hey, look what I found. Pretty soon it's, hey, hey, and then nobody hears you. I can't say that this is true for everyone. I can only say this is true for me. To know that any one subject that I get too involved in tends to tear me away from just living in balance and harmony. And, you know, it's kind of like when I took the break from YouTube. Some people said, oh gosh, how are you going to do it? This would be so hard. And other folks said, you know, well, so what? It's just a week off of YouTube. For somebody who makes videos to understand this concept, that a person who makes 2 or 3 videos every day to take a week off after a year, it's an addiction. And we know it triggers the same part of the brain as drugs. That the internet addiction is as strong as a draw as drugs. And after seeing the way that people get absorbed in the subject matter, I've really been able to step back and watch from a distance. And when you're there and when you're involved, you can't really see from the outside. I watch a lot of discussions go on YouTube about knowledge, and a lot of them I don't speak on. I just, you know, bite my lip, watch the video, and move on. Because I know that if I make a comment, then I'm going to be opening myself up to debate over something that has no resolution, or a discussion that really has no empirical evidence to support one side or the other. So I found as I was writing this book, it became about balance. Everything became about balance. Every time I jumped to one side, I'd jump to the other and say, well, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, but this is what's worked for me. And the secret that I found, and this is just what I found, I mean, it's not a secret, like I said, there are no secrets. The true secret that I think everyone's looking for is as simple as middle ground, the middle path. We push too hard on causes we can't understand, and we don't push hard enough on certain causes that we need to stand up for. We're afraid to defend ourselves out of fear of looking egotistical. Some people won't even stand up for themselves in a debate. Others feel like they have to stand up for themselves over every argument. The balance is always somewhere in the middle. The the way that works, the path that works, and this goes with every subject. It's almost unconditional. And it's like they say, everything in moderation. My favorite line is everything in moderation, including moderation. That means you don't have to moderate everything all the time. Don't feel guilty if you decide to go out and splurge or have fun once in a while. In other words, don't become so attached to non-attachment that you ditch all your material happiness to try to find this only spiritual desire. And likewise, don't ditch spirituality to try to make yourself rich. And it's just always a balance. So the secret that people are looking for, I think, is that truth within themselves that can allow them to see through the bullshit. Wisdom comes from the heart, and wisdom is the ability to use your mind and wisdom is the, I believe someone worded it once, that wisdom is the ability to use your knowledge to judge matters of the heart. So when you have an emotional feeling, you're able to analyze it and understand why, rather than becoming an emotional wreck over something. And seeing ourselves from the outside is so essential to who we are and who we become. To not get so wrapped up in either dislike of ourselves or love for ourselves, but to love yourself first. You know, they always say love yourself first before you can love anyone else. But then there are people on the side saying, don't grow too attached to yourself. It's just your body, you know. And this is true. We are vessels. I believe firmly that my life force, my energy, my consciousness is completely separate from my body. It's like they say, you know, a person from the time they're 12 to the time they're 80, you know, it's that same consciousness is there. You know, you remember what it's like to be you. It doesn't change with your body. It doesn't change with anything except for perhaps certain degenerative diseases and dementia and Alzheimer's. But those are exceptions to the rule. In general, the body is a fighting, strong vessel. And when we start to associate ourselves with only our body, we'll say things like, I'm falling apart, or I'm getting old. You're not getting old. You're not going anywhere. You're the same consciousness you've been, with a rotting bag of meat. That's, if there's any secret, that's the one I think would do a person the best. It's just to walk along with open arms and accept what comes your way. You can't change the world to fit the way you want it to be, but you can change your mind to make the world appear to be the way you want it. As long as we see different cultures arguing about different things and see the vast difference in cultural values, we will have to only conclude that we have one of two options. Either we all become the same person, same type of people with the same religion, the same structure of values, to where we can find a one world happy legal system. Or we have to adjust that system for each culture. And it's just like in Islam, they have Sharia law. Sharia is different in every area, and it's not Islam per se. What it is it's a set of laws based on Islam, and it's vastly different between cultures and areas. And the same with Christianity in the U.S., with the Presbyterians and the Christian Scientists, the Mormons. And each culture has found a way to fit in with their community. And now that we're all exposed in all these different ways, it's easy for us to butt heads. And we're sitting around waiting for the world to change for us. Maybe it's time we change for the world. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'll be back in a couple days to do more comments and stuff. And I'm enjoying my time off from the computer. It's allowed me to think and process a lot more rather than just talking. Hope everyone's doing fan-freaking-tastic today. Peace.